Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. It's Do we have audio? Can somebody? Yes, thank you. Okay, this is Marilyn, and it's welcome to my world, the afternoon edition. It's almost 2:30 on November the 11th. So I thought I'd just take a minute to go over a couple of things. Um, as most of you know, crude oil is my favorite thing to trade. And after we had the nice runs this morning, this chop just turned into double chop, or whatever you want to call this. But this, to me, is basically untradeable. Some people like to use, I know Leah really likes to use this 210, and you can scalp off of this, but it sure takes some skill. And some of this wasn't even usable for scalping, uh, particularly right in here from about noon until a few minutes ago. We just now got this up boost because there's some profit taking here with these contracts that are being there's a lot of buying coming in here at the 42.90, 4, 5, 6 level to offload, take the profit for the day, and finish that up. TF had some nice trades this morning too. I think John's the one that got me convinced to turn my candles into colors on that red and green. And I have to tell you, it makes it a lot easier to see those elevators. I mean, duh, I never thought about that before. And yes, Ezra is asking if I will explain the entry points on the chart that I traded. Yes, let me get that chart over here. If I mark up a chart while I'm trying to trade, it locks up NinjaTrader. It's just such a fabulous platform. And so I had another one over here. I'll pull this over if you want to see those entries. See if I can get this big enough to because those were really, to me, those are just, I love this thing got kind of out of proportion here, I guess. This arrow right here. But let me, I'll get this back. To me, this morning, right here about 8 o'clock or 8:15, yeah, it was about 8:15. If you go back and look at this 210, it had a very nice setup. It was easy to see on the 210, which would get you in a little bit earlier than waiting for this P to develop and the E and all this. And when the market is slow, which it will be before, I don't know, 8:30 or 9 in the morning, if it's slow, the 6 tick is really helpful. And you can get another 5 or 10 ticks off of your trade because you get in a little bit early, but you get in with safety off of that. So I have discovered that it's much easier for me. I used to drive myself insane trying to count all these ticks and then subtract 3 and add 5 and some other number. So I just decided I watched this enough. These bus drivers in crude oil like to go from the street to the street. They love the streets. So that works for me. And most of the magnets are at either an even 10 or a 5, number ending in 0 and number ending in 5. And it's easy for me to calculate my stuff all in my head. So I took the entry right here. There's a magnet right here at 43.80. And I set my take profit at the low of yesterday, which is this dotted line. Might have been a tick or two off of it, but it was at 43.55. So that gave a nice trade right there. And it's easy. Not a big deal. You can manage that off of the 6 tick. Very easy. Then the crude oil bus driver doesn't just go out in the middle of nowhere and turn the bus around. There is a reason they turn the bus around. And the reason here was this half deviation. So when this E forms off of this and you get this big tall bar right up here, you can take this at the top of the bar, which happened to be the that I think that's a 0.7 deviation. They're kind of pale on here, but there's a deviation level right here at 43.65-ish. So you could do that. I wasn't brave enough to take a more aggressive entry down here because once this is all painting all these red things in here, you're scalping it up, and you can't expect a really big movement because you're going against the trend, I guess is the easiest way to put that. So I took the entry right here at 43.65 with the idea that the best place to get out was going to be at the red ice, but when it was going right through here and we did have some exceeding volume here, I just trailed it real tightly and I got an extra couple 3 ticks out of it, I think right here at the 44 at this magnet. Okay, so then when it puts this long tall bar in here like this, the bus driver's turning around right here at this red ice. Then I took it back the other way at the bottom of the P bar right here, and I just took it to the deviation level. One of the things that I was trying to point out to you is when you get in a trade like this and you get these bars like this P bar right here, the reason you know that thing is likely to continue on down is because you've got a really tall red volume bar down here that is way more than twice the size of the ones on the other side of it. The other thing that happened right here was if you go back and look at your 10-minute chart, this MVP showed up at within just a very couple of 3 or 4 minutes on the 10-minute. And when you get the MVP on both of those with the red E, you have a strong downward trade. I mean, you can short crude oil. You just have to be patient with it. That's the whole thing, back to peeing a lot. So you have to be picky about your entries. You have to be patient in your trade development and management in order to get paid, which is the main thing. So does that help? Ezra, the volume indicator is the up down. It's just a generic that's in the NinjaTrader. But Ezra, does that help? Okay, great. It is a matter of, I wanted everybody to scroll back and look at what let's see what Russell has been putting in here, because this is classic Apex. Russell has just illustrated this afternoon what I keep saying over and over and over. All this stuff on Apex works. The incredible accuracy of the technology is just unbelievable. So knowing that, number one, trading with any of these systems, you have to get the rules down, and you cannot use a chart from one system to trade another system. For example, on this on this shadow of the 8-10-5, this is the sharpshooter. If you're going to use this chart, you need to be doing the sharpshooter strategy with the sharpshooter rules. You cannot use this or these kind of bars. You cannot to find elevators and slings. It doesn't work that way. So the other thing I'll tell you is that the rules are kind of like manners. You have to know what they are in order to know if and when you can break them. But once you learn the system, and you got to get the right chart with the right system, once you've got that and you've got the rules down, then you can do exactly what I do and what Russell does and Leah and Lori and everybody else that have been around for a while. Then you can start to find the easy stuff. I mean, I don't know what half these rules are for these systems. I can't keep all that stuff in my head. So I have to find the path of least resistance for me. And everybody else, it's a matter of training your eye and your brain. And I cannot tell you how important it is at the end of every day to go back and mark your charts up, because that's what gets your brain and your eye to start spotting this stuff well ahead. And it will become so much easier, because just equally as important is ruling out all the stuff you know you don't want. Just get rid of it. It's either too hard, it doesn't make sense, you can't figure it out, whatever that is, then just go for the good stuff, just what you really like. And I really like Apex. I really like the deviation levels and the magnets, because I've watched this enough to know, especially in crude oil, this bus driver will go from one street to the next street to the next to the next. And if you just get the idea of looking for 20 and 30 tick trades on that, you will see them over and over and over again. You start adding that up, you can have a pretty nice day that way. So I'll get down off my soapbox now. And yes, I totally agree with Russell. This is Apex is almost like it's not really fair to everybody else, because you have no idea how much farther along you are in trading as opposed to, frankly, every institutional trader on the planet. And that's just a fact. You may not believe that, but I sure do. And yes, Russell makes an excellent point. Do not fight the chop. You have to learn what you don't want. You have to learn that. And the only way you're going to do it is to go back and mark every single solitary possible entry for the market you're interested in trading every day. Don't do it while you're trading, because then you miss other trades, and you're defeating the purpose of having a completely relaxed mind where you don't have to keep track of anything except just sticking your little icons on where the entries are and where you would reasonably take an exit. I mean, really and truly, this one from the red ice line, you could have taken that all the way down here to the one deviation. But I tend to, if I've got 40 or 50 or 60 ticks and it's rolling right along, which doesn't happen very often, but know that when you get to a major street like this big magnet, and there's an older big magnet right here, that is going to produce a lot of chop. So get out before you get there, because as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth the grief. to sit there. So, okay, I promised I'd get off my soapbox. Tomorrow morning, there is a lot of news. So if you are trading early at real early, there's 5 and 5:30 uh, stuff and 2:45 in the morning and all this stuff that will affect the euro. But U.S. we have unemployment claims tomorrow at 8:30, and then we have Mrs. Yellen saying whatever she's going to say. At 10 o'clock is the JOLTS job openings, and the crude oil inventory tomorrow is going to be at 11 o'clock. So we saw a little bit of what the preliminary API report is indicating, that there is a considerable amount of inventory, and it's driven this price down. But at the same time, we've got a considerable amount of chaos going on in the Middle East, and nobody wants the price of oil to go higher than Comrade Vlad. So that's about all I see for today, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. So have a very nice rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the morning. Thanks.